So, you got Sony Vegas, and you have no idea what to do with it. Maybe you don't even know where to start. Then you've clicked on the right video, because that's what I'm going to show you right now. First, let's open the program. When you look at it for the first time, it might look extremely complex and confusing, but trust me, the beginner stuff is actually really easy. I'm using Sony Vegas 17, but don't worry which version you have, they're all basically the same. First, you should become familiar with the shortcuts. There's actually quite a lot, and you're definitely not going to be using 90% of these. But that's why I'm going to show you the ones that you're going to be using the most. S, you cut it in half. Control and C, you copy something. Control and V, you paste something that you copied. Delete, well obviously is delete. I don't know what you expected. Now this one is pretty important. Control Z, it undoes any mistake or any action that you've done previously. Pressing D will switch to editing tool, but we're mostly going to be using this one, which lets you select a lot of stuff, which is insanely handy. I only actually learned this one a few months ago. I would have been really glad if someone showed me this before. Anyway, Control and S. Save your file wherever you like, and then spam it after every single damn click that you do. Trust me, this will save you a lot of nerves and sadness. The amount of progress I've lost before just because I didn't save it and Vegas crashed on me, it's too much. Just press it. Just press the two buttons. It's not that hard. At first your projects aren't going to have a lot of edits and it might seem useless, but trust me, again, just click it, please. It's for your own sake. Alright, now let's start editing. Now you might be wondering, how the heck do I get my files into here? It's simple. Just click on your file, drag it in, and boom, it's in. Before you do anything, make sure that your sampling mode is set to disable resample. This makes so the video is much smoother and doesn't have these weird looking things, I don't know what they're called. For a beginner standpoint, you're just gonna want to cut it up. Take the necessary parts out by cutting the front and the end of it, and then you just press delete. Move it back, and there you go. And that is basically most of what you're going to be doing as a beginner. But let me show you a few more cool tricks. To pan and crop, you must go up to your video and click this weird rectangle thingy. When you click it, this menu will pop up. You're probably thinking, what the hell is this? But let me show you how to use this. Make sure to put your cursor here, because keyframes is a more advanced thing and I'm not going to show you that in this video. Now that your cursor is standing comfortably at the start, let's start panning and cropping. The main thing is right here. It might be a bit weird to get used to, but it's actually pretty easy. As you can see, there's a big rectangle and you can play around with it. When you make it smaller, it zooms in, and when you make it bigger, it zooms out. In the entire thing, you can go further or closer using the scroll wheel. Now if you messed up or you want to restart, just right click and press restore. This will bring it back to its normal state. If you have it zoomed in or zoomed out and you want it to be in the center, just right click and press center. If you want it to look like it's mirrored, press flip horizontal. If you want it to be upside down, press flip vertical. And ignore these for now. There are a few tools on the side. There's the normal edit tool, the zoom edit tool, which is completely useless. Then there's enable snapping, which just snaps it to a grid. Lock aspect ratio makes it so you're always locked on the aspect ratio of the video or image, so no black bars appear. Size about center makes it so you zoom in or out in the middle. And the last one is move in X or Y coordinates, or just move it completely freely. Before we go into a bigger segment, I want to tell you about video and audio tracks. Video tracks are for things that have an image, so text, images, videos, anything that you can see basically. And audio tracks is just a track for sound. You put anything there that is a sound file. And when you put your footage in, it will automatically create both, a video and audio track. You can put the volume up or down. Make sure that if you put the volume higher, that it's not distorted. Or if you put it lower, make sure that it's not too quiet. And on video tracks, you can put the opacity down, which basically means the less it is, the more transparent it is. To create a new audio or video track, right click and press create video or audio track. You can also use shortcuts, which is much faster. which is Control Q for audio tracks and Control Shift Q for video tracks. Okay, let's talk about one of the most important things in video editing, which is text. And let me show you how to add it. Go up to a free space, right click, and press Insert Text Media. This menu will pop up. Now, you can use this one, it's completely fine, but this text generator for some reason does not show most downloaded or custom fonts. So if you just want to put some text and you don't really care about what font it is, then you can easily just use this one. But if you do want your downloaded fonts to work and you want to use them, let me tell you about legacy text. If you are below the version 16 or 17, it should already be enabled, but in Vegas 17, it's disabled, so we have to enable it. And you do that by going up here, clicking on options, and going down to the bottom, click preferences, go up, click on deprecated features, and lastly, click on enable legacy text. Hit apply and OK, and now it's enabled. To use legacy text, go to media generators, scroll down, click and drag it into your project. You can edit your text however you desire by changing the color, adding an outline, a shadow, etc. You're probably asking, how do I put this over my footage? You make a new video track, drag it up there, and now you have the text over your footage. To put it somewhere specific on the screen, use the pan and crop tool. If you're making subtitles and you want them to look pretty good, make sure to sync them up with what you're saying. To do that, zoom into your audio, find the start to your sentence, put the cursor right where you're about to say something, and match the text to your cursor. So you finish your last cut and you think that you're fully done. Make sure that there's no blank spaces, that if you have any subtitles, make sure that they match up with your voice, that your background music is not too loud or quiet. Rewatch the video, and if there are no errors, you can start rendering it. To start rendering your video, select the region of the entirety of your video, go to the top left, press File, and click Render As. This will pop up. This might look a bit confusing, but hear me out. Find an AVC/AAC with a MP4 or MOV extension. If there isn't one for you, just try find a similar one that has a .mp4 extension. Click on it, and you'll be shown a lot of templates. It can range from 720p 25 fps to 4K and 60 fps, but I recommend 1080p 30 or 60 fps. When you selected that, click on Render Options. Make sure that Render Loop Region Only is checked. The loop region is what we selected before rendering. After that, by pressing Browse, select the place where you want your rendered video to be placed. And that's it. Press render and just wait until it's finished cooking. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it. It will really help a lot. I put a ton of effort into this, and if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave it in the comments. I will try answer all of them. See ya!